new day, and nothing's really quite going your way. You got bad news that's confusing, you got sad news that you're wounded, and it feels like the worst time. You're worried and scared and not fine. You feel unprepared with no signs, but it'll be alright, you just gotta fight. What about things happen to the best of us? It seems like they should be blessed, they just might be angels here as guests, teaching us to be our best. When everything breaks at the seams, and you feel like you're losing belief, well, damn it, you just gotta stay strong. When it all falls apart and goes wrong, when you feel let down and so lost, and it feels like you can't hold on, well, damn it, you just gotta stay strong. 'Cause sometimes things go wrong, and one day everything's gone, but you can make it out and move on. So damn it, you just gotta stay strong. You know that it sucks and it hurts, it's like you've been cursed by the world at its worst. I'm sorry, I know you can't see it, but maybe all these things happen to you for a reason. So stay strong and push through it, your willpower is everything you got, don't lose it. And one day things will get better, you just gotta get through the stormy weather. What about things happen to the best of us? It seems like they should be blessed, they just might be angels here as guests, teaching us to be our best. When everything breaks at the seams, and you feel like you're losing belief, well, damn it, you just gotta stay strong. When it all falls apart and goes wrong, when you feel let down and so lost, and it feels like you can't hold on, well, damn it, you just gotta stay strong. 'Cause sometimes things go wrong, and one day everything's gone, but you can make it out and move on. So damn it, you just gotta stay strong.
Well, hello, everybody. Hi, Arctic. Are you there?
Hey, hey, hey.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Oh, my poor doggy. I went to pick her up and she screeched. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry I hurt you. Anyway, hello, everybody. Glad you could be here. I want to say hi to some people. Hi, Jay. Hi, Dee Dee. Hi, Christina. Hi, Where the Wind Blows. Landy Pooh. Cool Gamer. Arctic. I think I got everybody. Sally. Thanks for joining, guys. I'm really happy you're here. And I don't like this view. This has got to go. Where is the other one? I'm too close. I don't like it. It's like right up in your face kind of shit. And nobody wants to see that. Anyway, me and Arctic were talking, and he's kind of surprised by the live because I normally plan it with him. And today I didn't. I mean, I didn't this week. I just set it up. So, hey, Becca, too. How are you? Okay, Dee Dee. Now you're blue. I thought you were before. Anyway, so I'm really glad to see you guys. Arctic, how was your day? Hi, Joanne.
It has been a long day, but I've gotten a lot accomplished, so I can't complain.
Yeah, that's good. You, of course, 11 videos today, everybody. Go get them and share them because, you know, Arctic gets as many faces as he can out a day, and leave me from this side of it. It's not as easy as it might look to all of you guys. Seriously, is not. Anyway, hi, Under Your Scars. So there's a few things we need to discuss today. One of them is going to be online grooming. We talk a lot about the runaways. And hi, Jessica. Jessie Pooh. Nice to see you. I'm so glad you guys are coming over. It makes me feel really good. Thank you for coming and being here. We talk a lot about runaways and how, you know, they don't get much coverage because, well, cops think they're just runaways, right? But there's a reason why they are, and the links to everything that we have is going to be in the description. So make sure you check it out. I'm going to share this page, and well, I don't know. Should we show your video first? What should
Yeah,
we do?
because it kind of goes hand in hand with
Okay,
what we're talking about.
right. So why don't I share Arctic's video first? Let me see. Share screen and okay. No, not that one. Not that one. Oh, this one. There you go. Okay, let me get that full screen. And
Guys,
all right.
this is ARCTICFOX. Well,
Okay, I want to make sure everybody can hear it too. Can you see it all right? And hear it? You turn it
yeah,
up. Okay.
looks good anyway.
All right, here we go.
Back to the channel. I want to come on here today and tell you about a very successful operation that the U.S. Marshal Service recently wrapped up, in which they were able to locate 225 missing children nationwide. The U.S. Marshal Service, with the help of several state and local agencies, wrapped up the successful operation that was a 10-week operation in states all across the nation. Operation We Will Find You is a nationwide effort to locate missing children, according to the U.S. Marshals Service. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children supported the recovery of 169 children and the safe location of 56 children. The U.S. Marshals Service said it referred 28 cases to law enforcement due to suspected criminal activity, which included drugs and weapons, sex trafficking, and sex offender violations. The U.S. Marshals Service is fully committed to the important mission of protecting the American people, especially our most vulnerable, our children, according to Ronald Davis, the director of the U.S. Marshals Service. And I think operations like this are so very important, guys, because these children so often don't get Amber Alerts or anything when they go missing. So for operations like this to take place is critical. The results of this operation underscore the commitment set forth by the U.S. Marshal Service and also highlight the necessity of these critical efforts. The U.S. Marshals' continued success is only achieved through their collaboration with the state and local law enforcement agencies, and of course, their partnership with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Together, the U.S. Marshals Service and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children have recovered over 3,100 missing kids since the passage of the Justice for Victims of Trafficking Act in 2015. The operation was held in Virginia, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Massachusetts, South Carolina, Louisiana, Texas, Michigan, Washington, Florida, California, Ohio, Guam, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. 10 of the children located were found in Mexico, according to the U.S. Marshals Service. Operation We Will Find You is just one great example of how the U.S. Marshals Service continues to prioritize the protection of our children. And of course, I love the fact that they're working with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Obviously, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is proud of their longstanding partnership with the U.S. Marshals Service, and they want to commend the U.S. Marshals for everything that they've done and for their participation with the state and local agencies who helped recover the 225 endangered missing children. The U.S. Marshals Service said the missing children located during the operation involved high risk factors, including victimization of sex trafficking, child exploitation, sexual abuse, physical abuse, and medical or mental health conditions. And so I can't applaud the U.S. Marshal Service and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children enough for this successful operation. And they're going to continue to have operations like this. They had one similar to this last year where they were able to recover well over 100 children in that operation. And so I just think it's great that these operations are taking place and these children are getting recovered. And I do want to thank the local law enforcement agencies for working with the U.S. Marshal Service to find these kids. I don't always say great things about the local agencies because I feel that in many cases they stamp these kids runaways. They don't take the cases as seriously as they should. But it is great that they are at least willing to work with the U.S. Marshal Service in these successful operations to bring the kids home. And so that's kind of my good news story for the day, guys. I do thank all of you for tuning in and watching. Hey, you know what? Give me a like on this video, share it out on your social media. It really does help support the channel. And y'all,
And blah, 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 blah. No, I'm only kidding. Arctic. I'm only kidding. Great video. And you want to speak on it some more?
Well, I had to put my shameless plug in there at the end of it.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, seriously, though, I mean, this goes hand in hand with what we're talking about today, because many of those children that they located were victims of grooming and sexual exploitation, and they had mental health concerns. And, you know, when a child has a mental health disability, that makes them more susceptible to being able to be groomed, because a lot of the mental health concerns, they feel like they don't have anyone to that cares about them. Sometimes they feel like there's no one that they can talk to, and so when someone befriends these children online, it's easier for them to gain access to them. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, yes, I sure do. I mean, because they're at the age of they want to fit in. They're trying to find themselves, you know, and with today's ongoing situations with you know, transgender and gays and teenagers having a hard time with that because families don't understand it and they get shunned from their family, which is absolutely horrible. And then there's kids with, like you said, mental illnesses, depression, you know, I mean, so many, probably a lot of PTSD, you know, with some of the things that go on in this world. And who are they going to turn to? Somebody who's paying attention to them. You know?
Exactly.
So that brings me to this. Let me share my screen on this one. There's a lot of reading, Arctic, and you know me in reading, so but you might want to just give it a brief whatever over. Let me see.
I'm on my phone, so the chances of me being able to read it are slim to none.
Maybe not. Well, okay, let's just see if you can see it even.
Let me
get it to the big screen. No, it's pretty small. All right, we won't even, let's just say this. There's warning signs for your youth and involvement in at-risk online activity. It says your child's agenda is large amounts of time online, especially at night. Child predators can be online at any time, but most work during the day and spend their evenings online trying to strike up conversations with young people. Very true.
Okay, I can actually read some of this if you want me to.
Yeah, go right ahead.
You find pornography on your child's computer, phone, or storage device. Adults who are seeking to exploit children often supply potential victims with pornography as a means of opening sexual discussions and or for seduction. Your child receives phone calls from someone you don't know or is making calls to numbers that you don't recognize. Adults who want to exploit children use these calls to learn more about the children that they are pursuing. Through caller ID, they may be able to determine the child's full name and address. Predators have been known to provide toll-free numbers or even cell phones to potential victims so potential victims can call without their parents knowing. Your child receives mail, gifts, or packages from someone you don't know. As part of the grooming process that is used by child predators, it is common for them to send letters, photographs, and gifts to their potential victims. Your child hides what they are doing on the computer or erases history. When a child turns off the computer monitor or quickly changes the screen on the monitor as you walk into the room, they are attempting to conceal something. A child looking at pornographic images or having sexually explicit conversations does not want you to see it. Your child becomes withdrawn from the family. Adults who are seeking to exploit children work hard to drive a wedge between a child and their family. Any problem that a young person has can be manipulated to make that child feel isolated from his or her loved ones. Children under the influence of a predator may pull away from families and may become withdrawn after they have been victimized sexually. Your child is using another email account or phone. Some online entities offer free email services, so email accounts can be created quickly and without cost. If your child is using an account other than the one that you may have authorized, he or she may be communicating with someone who wants to keep the relationship secret. Keep in mind that your child could still meet and exchange messages with an adult while online at a friend's house, the library, or at school. And of course, at the bottom of this, there's several resources and stuff, and I'm sure checking has the links in the description.
Yeah, I put the whole article into the description. So yeah, you can catch the whole thing. I'm smoking, people, and YouTube don't like it. So that's why you see my funky looking avatar. But yeah, I have to do a fighter here. I totally believe that your child needs to be monitored. Teenagers are harder to monitor, but there are signs, right?
Oh, absolutely. And Lenny Pooh makes a good point. A lot of these predators are using the gaming platforms out there. They're using Minecraft and Roblox and games like that. That's one of the biggest platforms that they're using to try to gain access to your kids.
Yep. Snapchat, horrible Snapchat is because they don't allow things to stay on there. It just goes away. So it's
Snapchat, and then there's Omegle because I can't count the number of horror stories I've read about that app. So
yeah, and that monkey whatever thing that goes with that, what you were talking about, because they get it on Kick, and they have them kids. And believe me, that looks like nothing but a pathway for criminals. That Kick does, that platform. So I would advise nobody to go to that, and keep your kids off it. But like we said, there's so many children that are runaways, but they're really probably being groomed.
Exactly. And the thing is that it's so hard for parents to keep track of what their children are doing, because why some of these apps are allowed to even be made, I don't know. But there's apps out there that look like a calculator that children can hide their pictures and their other apps within. And it's mind-blowing that this shit's allowed to even be out there.
I have a personal experience with that. The child I was fostering did that exact same thing. Got a new phone for birthday, and we only put certain things on there. And well, somehow she broke into whatever it was and decided to make pictures for Snapchat. And I'm talking, she's only 11 years old, and she was showing some pretty pictures that were like, no, where'd you get these ideas? Where did this come from? So needless to say, she's not online until she's 18 years old. That's what they said. Can't be trusted. We're not going to have you snatched up. Now, I don't know if, maybe she'll get older and things will work out.
I mean, but that's a double-edged sword too, because at the same time, you want your child to have a phone in the event that something does happen to them. If they go missing, you want to be able to track them. You want to be able to ping that phone. So it's one of those situations where we're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally 100% agree with you. It's like we just have to be, more cautious, pay more attention. And I know it's hard. People work and everything else. But if your children mean anything to you, you're going to take that time to check, like Lenny said, check the history, right? Check what games they're doing, check their phone. You know what? You're not here to be their friend. Okay. So if your child hates you at your teenage years, you're doing the right things.
You should get your kids a Nokia 3310. They can play Snake to their heart's content, and that way you still have the ability to track them. Plus, if they get mad and throw the phone, they'll just break into the same 3 pieces each time anyway. So
exactly. So there are things to do, and having the resources, which will be in the description, which I'm sure I hope people take advantage of that. And because online grooming is a very big thing right now. Sex trafficking is horrible. People don't want to believe it, that our society has come to this. I think our society has always been like this. It's just that we have internet and we can see it more faster. And, and in that,
Exactly.
yeah, and in that right, we also should be able to prevent these kind of things too. And just knowing that there are things out there to prevent it helps. So, if you have children or grandchildren or whatever, pass on some of these things. And pretty much everybody I see on here that has children or whatever, they have already, done their due diligence and made sure that everything's okay. But there's a lot of people that maybe your friends, they don't know about this stuff. Maybe they're just too busy in real life to even think about it. And they think, oh, my child's great. You know what I'm saying? So, you never know. You just never know. Oh, hello, more truth for the missing. Thank you. Welcome for being here. Thank you for being here and welcome. That was whack brain. But anyway, and there's another thing I want to talk about, and that is that Minnesota has this new office, which they're doing, like, where else did you say they were doing this, Arctic?
California, I believe.
Right. And it's for, let me just bring it up. Okay. There we go. All right. Hopefully you can see that. Let me see. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay. Let me get to it. Can't make it any bigger. But anyway, it's Minnesota has decided to have a special office just for the Black missing and murdered, because we all know that people of color do not get the coverage. Arctic, who makes videos constantly, can tell you exactly how bad it is. Yeah,
because
go ahead.
Especially the Indigenous are
Mhm.
affected more than even any other race. You put a video out, or I can only speak from my experience, but I'll put a video out on an Indigenous child, and it may get 5 views. But if I
Right.
put that same type of video out on a blonde-haired, blue-eyed little girl, that will at least get 250 views. It'll take off like wildfire. So, you cannot deny that there is, whether we want to admit it or not, there's systemic racism when it comes to missing people out there.
Yeah.
They don't get the coverage. They don't get Amber Alerts issued at the same rate as Caucasians do. It goes all the way, no matter how you look at it, no matter how you slice it. And there's going to be people that say, well, why do they need a special office? Why do they need a special alert? Well, here's why they need a special alert. If they're not going to get any type of attention through media, if they're not going to get an Amber Alert or anything else, at least if there's an office out there putting out, like California is doing, they call it a feather alert for the Indigenous, at least their face is getting seen and that alert is getting broadcast out.
Right. I don't know what they're calling this one. I don't think there's any special name for it. It's just the first office for Black missing women and missing murdered women and girls. It's not a real big article. It doesn't really say anything that's, real important, other than they finally have an office especially for the Black and well, I'm sure it's for people of all color, according to what I remember the first article being. And the main point is that people need to pay attention. Everybody matters. I don't care if you're green with polka dots on you or whatever, it doesn't matter. You're a human being. And the fact, like Arctic said, they just don't get enough coverage. And we're talking just even in our community of YouTube, you can see the views on certain videos compared to other videos. So
I'll give you a perfect example. Right now, there is a young lady named Nikki Alcaraz that's missing. Her case is a mirror image of Gabby Petito's case, right down to the fact that they were stopped. She was covered in bruises, and the police let them both go. And Gabby's case was all over national news. It was all over CNN. Hell, you couldn't turn your television on without seeing Gabby Petito's face. Same type of situation, but we're not seeing Nikki Alcaraz all over our newsfeed.
And why? Because she's Hispanic.
Exactly.
You know, just like, well, like what I was telling you, the Moab, the two girls, I don't think they got the coverage, not because Gabby was getting all of it, but because they were lesbians. Nobody was really paying attention. There's a box that everybody gets put in, and I think it should be just one big open room. Should be no boxes allowed, you know. So it's really sad to see, and we keep on saying it every time, don't we, Arctic? We just got to keep on pushing it, right, and keep on doing what we can do, you know, which isn't a whole lot, but it's something, you know. And with all you guys' help, it's even better.
And you know, and I hate to say it, but y'all subscribe to the channel. That's the only way that I can keep doing what I'm doing. The more subscribers, the more the chances are that your video gets pushed into the algorithm. And I'm not one that's all about views, but let's face facts. The more people that view a video, the better the chances are that that child's going to be found.
Right. It's not like we have cash apps going here, because you'll never see that between me and Arctic. We will not do that. I demonetized my channel, kept it that way. It's going to stay that way. And Arctic will never do it. And if we ever ask for anything, it's usually for families that, you know, if there's a PayPal or something, we would help with that. Arctic did it for his computer, which he can't do his work unless he has it. So it's not like we're trying to make money or we want to grow to some big channel for that purpose. We just want to grow so more people can see faces, hear prevention, families have a safe place to be. Because as you can see the banner here, I got into a great big discussion this weekend or the past 2 days about bashing families. And we all know people don't care for the Wells, but it's not about them. It's about their daughter. So quit pushing fingers and you let the cops do their job. You know, believe in our justice system. You know,
here's the thing. I'm not ever going to say that the Wells were parents of the year. We all know that they weren't.
Right.
But the fact is that this case has been going on for 2 years now. And in 2 years' time, if the TBI had enough evidence to charge the Wells in connection to anything to do with Summer's case, they would have already done it.
Yep.
Now, they haven't charged anyone. Now, that's not saying that the Wells are cleared, because they're not. They're still suspects. Everyone's a suspect according to law enforcement.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that they had anything to do with it. I mean, personally, I have my own suspects in the case. One is Jody Sue. She has long been on my list of suspects. But I don't do videos every day saying Jody Sue killed Summer. I mean...
Yeah, and I seen a couple say, well, did Candace kill Summer? And I'm like, whoa. See, that's just too much for me. I am a firm believer in our justice system, even though sometimes it gets it wrong. And I will fight for those wrongful convictions too. But it still is our right. And yesterday of all days, people should be really thinking about that. These people fought for our right to have innocent before guilt, to have the freedom to sit here and speak like we are. And pointing fingers without any evidence, come on, you're not better than the law. You are a YouTuber. You're not a professional in any of this. And those that were professional and are now on YouTube, like Duty Ron, you don't see him doing that ever. He will put out the facts and discuss it with experts. So that's what you can do. You can bring out the facts, their faces, and you can talk about prevention and that type of thing, but only talk about facts. When you're mixing all of your opinions to make them a fact, it gets so muddied and it really hurts a case. I don't care. There's jury pool poisoning. You're not going to get a fair trial or justice for that person. So
I mean, and that's not to say that you can't speculate, but when you are speculating, you need to be clear and say, this is my opinion. This is what I think may have happened. But it's certainly not okay to drag a parent through the mud in your speculation, because we don't know. There's 1,000 things that may have happened. I mean, we do know for a fact that the dogs lost some scent on the dog trail. So,
well, look at what they did to Brandy Neal, okay, and Tyler, and they have nothing to do with it. Their child missing, but yet they were dragged. And did any one of those people say they were sorry? Did anybody take those rotten videos down of them? No. I don't want to be on that side. I don't want to leave some kind of trail where a child might come home and see that kind of thing. It's absolutely horrendous.
yeah.
I would never want that done to me, and so I could never do it to somebody else.
Well, another case that comes to mind was last year when Eliza Fletcher went missing, the woman from Memphis that went missing while she was out for a morning jog. Everyone was saying the husband did it, the husband did this, the husband did that. And it turns out the husband had zero to do with that. Yeah. That man was grieving his wife, and during his worst possible pain, everyone was on YouTube and Facebook sitting here dragging this man.
Yeah. Now, granted, we know the Wells have said things being drunk and done a bunch of things online, and a lot of it maybe they brought on themselves. But you really have to stop and think, would you want that kind of harassment or people saying those kind of things where your other children could see that, or, you know, be wrong and have added pain onto something that is, believe me, it's painful to have a missing person. Okay. Like I said, I was lucky. My brother came back after 12 years, but those 12 years was hell. Okay. And I would have hated to have somebody come at me like that and say, well, you killed your brother, or you did this with your brother, or whatever, you know? Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine it. So I could. And
here's the deal. Here's the deal. I've said it about Brandy's case, and I'll say, or Monkey's case, and I'll say it about this. If it turns out that Candace and Dawn had something to do with Summer going missing, or if they harmed that child in any way, I'll be the first one on my channel sitting there saying to throw their asses underneath the fucking jail.
Yeah, me too. But not until that there is evidence for that. I'm not going to go by so-and-so saying this, or because somebody said in a live stream that they would have sold their drugs, their soul for drugs. That's in an addiction. Didn't say he'd sell his daughter for drugs. So, you know, it got twisted. A big game of telephone. You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, we don't add the drama here. There's enough drama in these cases. There's enough pain. You don't need all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, just keep the facts. That's what you need to hear. I know it's boring, you know, or I'd have 1,000 in my chat, and so would Arctic. You know, we'd have views up the butt if we were talking about bullshit, you know. But anyway, so that's really all we got today. I don't know if Arctic has any more.
Well, I kind of want to bring something that happened to me yesterday up. It's not really related to anything, but it's been chapping my hide since it happened. I had a mother of a child flat out lie to me, and I called her on it. Because her 11-year-old girl supposedly missing, supposedly abducted by the non-custodial father, but she may well have been abducted by the non-custodial father. That's all well and good. But she tries to tell me that this guy has a history of SA with underage kids, including this little girl, and that's why he was disbarred. So I had to get to researching it. And this man was indeed disbarred, but it had nothing to do with sexual assault. He was disbarred for contributing to the delinquency of a minor because he was out there smoking weed with kids, not because he had sexually assaulted anyone.
Oh, no. Damn it, it's good to see you. So see, gave a telephone, right?
Oh, she went further, though. She sends me this picture in my... Number one, I didn't ask for these types of pictures, but she sends me a picture of a dildo in my Facebook Messenger and says that the father had sent this to his 11-year-old girl the day before Easter Sunday. And then that following Monday, he had pulled this little girl out of the window. Well, when I caught her in the lie about the whole sexual assault bullshit, I have a hard time believing anything else that she says. And so, as much as I hated to do it, I did not cover that girl's case because I couldn't believe anything the mother was telling me. she lost all credibility with me, and I blocked her on Facebook and on my phone because here's the deal. If you've got a missing kid, you need to be honest with law enforcement and with people that are trying to help you. You
Yes.
can't lie to a creator and not think we're going to do our due diligence and research what you're telling us.
That's right. Oh, that's right. I mean, we don't just go and put it all out there just because we heard it. I can't believe that somebody said.
Oh my God, Noel, no, I don't want to see it. Matt would get mad anyway.
Well, geez. Don't let your husband see that. He's going to wonder what the hell's going on. Oh, you must know, though. I have to. Well, please don't bring all that here. Anyway, stop it. Your family. Yeah, just family don't share pictures of dildos, though. Let's get real.
Yeah, families don't tend to share anything sexual unless you're Benny Keys and get blown by your brother-in-law. But
yeah, and that has nothing to do with me neither. I say, hey, more power to you. If that's what you want, go for it. I don't care. I don't care what you do. It's all its own thing. So anyway, anything else, Arctic? Any other fantastic things coming to you?
No, that just made me angry to no end because I had recorded the video and everything. And then I was like, okay, well, before I put this out, I need to go ahead and research what she's telling me.
Yeah.
And this woman's not smart. She had sent me a link to the Supreme Court case where this guy ultimately got disbarred. And I'm reading through this and I'm like, okay, so and I was like, lady, you can't. You've lost all credibility with me.
Some people read things and they add things to it. Or there's nothing in there, so they add it to it so they can make it bigger and better.
I guess. I mean, we do know that this girl, the narrative that the mom said is completely different from the screenshots of messages that I was sent between this girl and one of her friends. The mom's trying to say that they were waiting on a letter from DHS. The older brother had gone out to check the mail the daughter had gone out to check the mail. The older brother asked for the letter, and the girl got all upset, pulled his glasses off, started attacking him, and in the process, he jammed her thumb. The messages that this girl sent to her friend say that it was more like she went to get the mail, she sat it on the counter, the brother had asked if there was anything in the mail, and she said, not for you, and he went completely off on her and attacked her.
Oh, wow. We got the circle jerks in here. Just want to tell you.
So, I mean, like I said, here's the deal. I, as a creator, I want to help every missing child. I want to put a video out on as many missing children as possible. Yep. But if a parent comes to me and blatantly lies to me, to my face, about what's going on in a case, you've lost all credibility, and I'm not going to do anything to help you.
Right. Don't come to me with false information. You put that out. I mean, that's awful anyway. And Savannah, Madeline Kingsbury, they just did another search and had a vigil for her. Of course, it's in my state, but there's still no sign of her. So,
yeah, Kim, the child is with the father. There's been pictures circulated on social media. The child appears to be happy. She is listed with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, but it sounds like it's a custody dispute case is what it is.
Right. And the Madeline, when I was just talking about, she, her husband went to court for custody, but I'm not sure what the outcome of that was. And Circle Jerk, that was the Madeline Kingsbury one is in Minnesota. That's in my state. And there's another missing girl out of Bemidji. Arctic did a video on her today. So, and there's Nevaeh Miller, 14, missing from Pooler, Georgia. Did you do that?
I don't think I've done one on them yet.
Oh, hi. I love seeing all you guys in here. I feel so honored. Thank you. To everybody that is new coming in, I appreciate you all very much. But yeah, I don't know. There's not really much this week. We'll be back again next week. And who knows what in between. If Artie gets some case that he thinks we need to kick in the butt, you know, for the officers of the law, we will definitely do that. We're good at that.
Absolutely. And I mean, I may eventually do a live stream on this Alcarez that's missing, just because I think her case really needs more attention. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a live on it. I've already done a couple of videos on it, and really everything that we know I've covered, aside from the fact that she was seen this weekend at a Walmart, and I put that information in the description box of the video that I've already got out on her. So,
okay, and it didn't look like the person was with her, you said, either.
It did not appear that the boyfriend was with her at the Walmart. No.
Look at my little baby over there. She's looking at you. Oh, well, I'm glad you made it anyway. Hi, Mark, and hi, Elizabeth, and hello to everybody that just came in. You're hitting the end. If you want, you can rewind. But everything we talked about today is in the description, along with a lot of other resources for the Indigenous and for missing children and for billboards. And most important, there is a petition from Arctic who started it, so everybody can get an Amber Alert. Okay, so please sign it if you haven't, because we want everybody to matter, and everybody does deserve an Amber Alert. And let me see, the next thing was, the Summer Wells, the Buddy Bench. That's on my community page. I do believe Arctic has it on his. There might be a few. You might want to find them.
I have shared the information. I've shared the information, and I'll share the link where you can go on Amazon and help with it as well here shortly. It's a really good project, and there's the Cash Gurn and Family Justice has put out a lot of videos on what they're doing, but it's a really good, worthwhile project, and I encourage everyone to get involved with it.
Right. They're trying to do some other benches too. I think they want to include Michael Monkey Vaughn, and there was one other, I can't remember who they said, but anyway, they're doing good things over there. So if you haven't subbed up to the Cash Gurn Justice family, please do so, because they really are making changes for this online harassment we were just talking about, and making changes in the Senate. So this kind of stuff doesn't happen to families, and what happened to them was really bad. So a lot of creators here had something to do with that, and I don't think it's okay. So I think that what they're doing is excellent, and I can't promote them enough, and they're making a difference. So check out the channels that are making a difference. I mean, everybody wants to go to drama once in a while, but if you really want true crime, real crime, there's a lot of channels out there outside of those big ones that really do victimize and re-victimize, I think. So anyway, I'm going to play my cheesy little exit. Arctic, thank you so very much for being here. And
thank you for having me.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we'll catch you later.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change. Play the game that we say. I need a break. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming.